Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer your elemental energy bonus reading for the elemental energy of Earth. Gotta remember what direction I'm pointing. Earth covers the zodiac signs of Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So if you are Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or have Earth high up in your chart, then this message is for you. If you've never had your charts read, there is a link in the description. It's just a tool that I've used. It's not a sponsored link or anything like that. But it's a natal chart, gives you your base 12 houses with all the little signs and symbols. And it's kind of an interesting way to get started with astrology because it's intense and in depth, but it's not super chaotic. It actually explains it in pretty easy to understand language. And the reason I'm chattering away is I am currently shuffling and dealing the cards for your reading. How I like to do my bonus readings is we'll use the basic Celtic cross, but I use a couple of variations that make more sense for me. So that's why you'll hear a lot of the similar terms, but then there's a couple of them that are a little different because it's what works best for how I read. With that, we will get started. I will say, if you see anything different with the cards that I'm using versus what I'm actually bringing forward from source, because I read intuitively, feel free to comment and let me know your thoughts on that, because it's always interesting to hear other people's opinions. So, your significator. So this is the totality of who you are in the moment, Earth. You have the Page of Swords. Swords is air, so this is a contrarian energy to you, but in this aspect, it's this energy of looking for someone to teach you the way, to show you the way. Like, you've come a long ways, and now you're getting to this point of questioning. You've fought your battles to a certain extent. You found peace with things, but now you're looking for someone to help you take it to the next level. And this energy that's coming in here it could be an outlook to look for a new schooling. It could be a form of healing that you're going for. You're not quite sure what direction you want to head, but you're looking for wise counsel, and that's a very important way to look at life when you're looking for the counsel to help show you or direct you in a path that might be more interesting for you, because you're setting yourself up for success by looking for that. And that's what's coming up here. You found peace because you've done the work. That's the butterfly that's going on here. You've done the work, so you know that you're capable, but now you want to see how far you can go with this and where you want to take it. And that's what's coming up as you as a whole right now. The thing that's your obstacle, the thing that's crossing you, your challenge, however you want to look at that, we have the Four of Swords, and this goes back to the fact that you have fought your battles. You've at least, you've overcome things. You're still preparing yourself for the next conquest, basically, because you're sleeping with your sword here. But what I'm feeling with this one is the challenge is not to allow yourself to always look for the fight. Yes, you can fight when necessary, be battle ready, be ready for challenges as they come along, but you don't have to always be focusing on where's the challenge, where's the challenge, where's the challenge. Earth, this is this reminder that yes, there is always going to be a challenge. There's always going to be something going on. But you can also look for the joy and the peace in life, and that's where with your significator, it's showing you that yes, you have all this capability, but the butterfly is talking about you still have peace. So look for the next steps, look for the counsel, the wise words, whatever it may be, and find your peace. Whereas the Four of Swords is like, yeah, you've done this, now you have to be ready. You can be ready but not focused on that adrenaline rush of what demon do I have to fight next, because that's not really going to be beneficial for you this month. Your higher self is actually bringing in more counsel with that in mind, which is number 6, the Lovers, finding the balance, finding this ability to connect at a deeper level. This could be with a physical person, Earth, or it could be in a spiritual sense of finding the union of opposites within yourself, the masculine and feminine, the fire and the water, the earth and the air, however you wish to see this. But what I'm feeling with this one as your higher self is saying, find your balance, find the dynamic that works for you, because when you do, you will stop seeing the world in a where's my next challenge? And you'll start to see it as, where's my next lesson? How do I grow from this, and how do I become something more? The lovers also are talking about an energy of healing and releasing that which does not serve. So it's not so simple as, oh, it's lovers, it's two people falling in love. It's about finding the balance between opposite forces and noticing that things can change drastically when that balance comes into play. Your shadow self, this is kind of your repressed memories, thoughts, the things that other people have told you aren't good enough, so you have hid them with shame or regret or that kind of energy. We have number 20 with judgment. Judgment sounds like it's a little harsh, but it's really about discernment. Your shadow is saying, understand what is right and what is wrong. Understand what you need to accomplish or what you need to look within to find. You already know the answer to this question, Earth. You know where you need to go. You're in the state of, I'm looking around for someone to show me the path. Your shadow's like, listen, you already know where you're going. You already know the path ahead. Why are you questioning yourself? And your shadow asks the hard questions. So when you're looking to this and you're like, oh, I need to figure out where I'm going. I don't understand. I don't know. You do. And I want you to, if you're sitting down in the moment, grab a piece of paper and write down the question. What is it that I am trying to hide from? Or what is it that I am trying to ignore in search of something else? Those are not comfortable questions, but when you can actually sit down and put words behind those, that's when your discernment kicks in. Your shadow's not saying, you have to do it this way or else. It's saying, are you seeing everything that's available to you? Your higher self wants you to understand the union of opposites and coming into that balanced state. But your shadow is saying, now that you're starting to get connected to your balance and understanding, what are you not paying attention to that threw you out of balance in the first place? Your immediate history, actually this answers some questions, is the Nine of Swords. Your history has not been fun, has it, Earth? This last little bit, the last 1 month, 6 months, or a year, there's been some conflict, there's been some challenges. Some of them have been right there in your noggin, others have been very physical, and the memories are with you. And that doesn't mean it has to be like, bloody fisticuffs. It's about what challenges you've been dealing with. Is it anxiety, depression? Is it switching jobs, losing a job, There's a lot of things that can be a challenge or obstacle. And your history is you've had to do the hard things to come out on top. You've had to go through the situations and you've survived. I mean, obviously, where you're at now, you're looking for the next journey. But your history is not pleasant. And that's not. They're saying that this is not your fault. You did what you had to do because that's what you felt you were supposed to do in the moment. And so now that you've grown beyond that, that's why your higher self is saying, find the balance, and your shadow is saying, use your discernment. Your immediate future, so the next 1 month, 6 months, or a year, is the Ace of Pentacles. There is a new beginning coming in, and it's aligned with your soul, Earth. Pentacles are Earth, which is what you are. This energy is coming in to say, you've been through enough. You've dealt with the challenges, the trials. You're seeking guidance in the moment. And the Ace of Pentacles is saying, and now you're ready to start the new beginning. You're ready for this next 1 month, 6 months, or a year to be reborn, to find a new purpose in life. Earth, this may not be for everybody. What I'm feeling is you've had to go through, and you kind of went through ups and downs, especially with the previous employment you've had, and this is specific to this. And now you're ready to start something new, and it's actually going to be something that aligns with your core value system. It's not, well, this is going to make the most money, or I was told I have to do this by fill in the blank family member. Okay, well, fill in the blank family member, they can go do that because this is not you, and you know it's not you. That's why there's that conflict. But your future going forward is about you coming into alignment with yourself. And it's interesting if you look at your middle pillar here. Let's get these cards all together. Your higher self is saying, find your balance, seek the higher guidance, and use your discernment. These are the three aspects of the soul, so to speak. And so you're really being called in this core system to get into that aligned state, because your future is your decision based on your actions. You're seeking guidance, and the guidance is literally saying, Earth, when you figure out and align more closely with your soul, with the highest form of you, the doors are going to open in ways you may not expect, and it's going to move in the right direction. Again, that is for a very specific group, but I'm not sure why that came through so strong. Your attitude, your inner world, the things that go on in your head, is the Seven of Swords. You have a lot of... I'm feeling this dichotomy of all the swords with the earth, like your future is going back into your soul, but you're dealing with outside influences that have now got into your head, and that's what this is talking about. And this could be an intellectual battle where it's a battle of wills, so to speak, but you've fought your battles, even inside of yourself. You still have this little gremlin over here that's trying to stir you up, and you're not done. You can fight more if you need to. This is your inner thought pattern. Earth, what I'm feeling for you is you're always looking for the fight. That also goes back to your crossing energy, the Four of Swords. You're always looking for this intellectual or physical battle, and so in your mindset, I have to be sharp, I have to be strong, I can't allow my emotions to show up, I have to be this, I have to be that. But is that you? Yeah, those are things that, so, it's good to keep your skill set sharpened, but is it necessary? Your attitude internally right now is really saying you are constantly looking for problems when there really probably isn't them, and this is where it's this call to find more of a peaceful, balanced aspect of how to show up. So your outside world, the environment around you, Earth, I would definitely just ground yourself and find balance right now because you've got a lot of air here. Five of Swords. The outside world is showing just because someone gets defeated doesn't mean that they're down. And in reality, this is going to be your energy. You're the one who's conquered everything, and now it's asking, are you going to be the benevolent one? Even though this is the environment around you, others are observing how you're acting right now, how you're responding to these situations and challenges. And what I'm feeling with this is, when you step forward with benevolence, and it's not always about must destroy, but how can I use this as a teaching opportunity? How can I use this as a growth opportunity? You might notice that the outside hostility tends to mellow out because you're changing what you're seeking. And that's the energy that's coming in here, Earth, is, yeah, there might be some challenges along the way, and that's life, and finding that balance of opposites. And I just keep going back to this card because, Earth, you're dealing with things that are your opposites. Swords and air are not yours. That is someone else's nonsense they have been feeding you or pushing upon you. And that's why this next 1 month, 6 months, or a year, your future card, is the Ace of Pentacles. This is the Ace of you. This is your new beginning. And it's saying enough with this past nonsense. You have two major arcanas that are coming in, the Lovers and the Judgment, saying, get into balance. Find the way to bring these two opposites into union and create something better. Your shadow is saying use your discernment, use your judgment, use your wisdom that is divinely guided and divinely accessed to change your trajectory. You're the one who can do this. No one else is going to do it for you. Sorry, they'll say they can help, but really this is on you to change. Your hopes and fears is number 4, Roman numerals, which is the Emperor. So you have a divine masculine aspect that is coming in here. Very protective, very fierce. And this is where this guidance that you've been seeking comes into play from the significator. You're looking for this divine masculine aspect, the God in its purest form, and this is where he is. And he's watching his own shadow too. He's making sure he's staying clean and clear. So the hope is that when you come to this balanced state, you're able to move forward with boldness and strength. The fear is if you happen to get too wrapped up in what your shadow's doing or what the other side of history is doing, that you're going to miss the opportunities ahead. So you're connecting with the hope of awareness and strength because you've already done a lot of things to build you to this point. So it's really a good idea to focus more on that than stay focusing on the past. Your immediate outcome for this, this is perfect balance. Again, union of opposites here, is number 3, the Empress. So the goddess is coming forward as the wrap up to your reading for the tarot. We still have oracle cards coming. But the Empress is saying, when you come to terms and understand what balance means, That's when the luck happens. That's when the joy returns. This is a celebration energy. So yes, there are some challenges. You've dealt with a lot, and that's why you're in that area of seeking out wisdom here. And again, you have the union of opposites. You have the goddess and the god, just like the lovers with your higher energy. There we go. Saying when you get into balance, things are going to change. And it's interesting, the last two cards for your reading are these two, because your hopes and fears are saying divine masculine, use your strength, step into your power and authority, get ready for what's coming. And the goddess is saying it is time for you to embrace this side of yourself. It is time for you to really enjoy the good luck, the frequency, the fulfillment that is coming in. And when you follow your righteous path, as the I Ching talks about, with your goals, your morals, your ethics, and your code of conduct, which is aligned with your soul, your future becomes yours again. Your future aligns with your soul again. It's not someone else's that is contrary, which is the amount of air that's in this reading. That's someone else's stuff that's being applied to you. When you start to understand, I may not need all of this, and so I can push that stuff away, it allows your soul to breathe more clearly and more freely. So your underlying theme to all of this is you are at the precipice of a new beginning. The fool is the naive idiot. You don't know where you're going. You don't know what you're going to do when you get there. But you know you can't keep going at the rate you're at. You have to make the change. And the fool is saying the change is ahead of you. It's going to be fun. You're going to have excitement up. You're going to have ups and downs. But it's time for the change to come through. So the underlying theme for this is your soul really is calling you to this new awakened experience, this new journey, because you've been through a lot, Earth. And I'm watching these cards give the indication and the instructions that with all of the conflict, especially the air-based conflict, which is like education, intellectual conflict, things like that, you're done with that. You're so over that. And that's why the page, your significator, is looking around being like, okay, I need to find some help here. I need to find someone who's either been through this or can guide me out of this. And that's where the Emperor comes in. And the Empress, honestly. This is the Lord and Lady, the God and Goddess energy that's being offered here. So you're in the right spot right now, Earth, to make the choices that are going to lead you to something way better and way less stressful. So we're going to hop over to our oracle. Before we do that, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video. Again, comment your thoughts and feelings. If you see something different with the cards, I would love to hear from you on that. And then we will hop into our oracle. The oracle can either be an answer to a question, and if you have a question, go ahead and pause right now, ask your question, see what source brings in, or it can be more clarification for the tarot. Just kind of depends on what comes in here. So your first oracle card is the energy of competition. Summon courage and self-confidence. Competition is actually sometimes beneficial, as steel sharpens steel type of energy. So your competition, working with this contrary energy, which is air, has actually sharpened your wit, has sharpened your awareness, and allowed you to develop into someone who has skills, talents, and gifts that are at the ready. You can call them up and use them when you need them. And this is where that confidence comes in. It doesn't have to be, oh, I'm not sure, so I need to always do this one thing. The confidence is saying, you know what, I don't know everything, I know what I know, and I'm going to go forward in this vein. If I can make this work and fix it and keep up, great. If I don't, I know I can seek out guidance. Your second card is vacation. Take time for relaxation and adventure. Earth, you've earned a break. Whether that is enjoying that movie that you've been putting off, going out to dinner with your partner, watching that, whatever it is show you've been trying to, you don't feel worthy of watching because I have so many things to do. Trust me, you always have time if you choose to. And I'm one of those people who I'm a workaholic. No arguments. I have a day job, this job, plus other things I'm doing. So I get that part. But Earth, it's really about taking the time for yourself and healing as you go through life. And that's what's coming up with this vacation energy, is when you allow yourself, after the stress of competition, to recover and basically celebrate your how far you've come, you're going to seek out the positive future. You're going to seek out that new path that the Fool is bringing forward. And it may not be the best all across the board, but you're ready to do it because it's more in alignment with who you are. Your third oracle card actually combines all the elements again. That is a theme for you. We'll go with that for this month, is Union of Opposites, because it is the legends, learning from those who inspire. And this also is that seeking out of the higher power, seeking out of a wisdom from someone else. There is the water, there is the earth, there is the fire, and there is the air. Gnomes, sylphs, undines, and salamanders. And this is where you get to look to the people that you are inspired by. How do they respond to their challenges? Because I'm going to tell you a little secret here, Earth. You probably already know this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. As you're observing other people and you're trying to understand how they do what they do, and you're learning to become something higher and better than you were, there's people who are watching you. You're seeking out the guidance of the legends, and there are people seeking you out because you are their legend. This is the important part of this, Earth. Just because you may feel that things have been a little rough here lately, which they have been with this much air going on, you have a bright future when you understand how to bring everything together, clean out the stuff that doesn't work, and build the union of opposites. It's an alchemical thing of transmutation, where you're building things that should not work together, but you're combining them. And this is where, pardon the term, magic happens. And you are in this state of bonding to this and elevating out of where you were. That's going to be different for every person. I'm not going to say every person's going to make thousands of dollars or any of that nonsense. What I'm saying is, this is your time to understand a deeper version of yourself. And when you can work with your shadow and your higher self, and you bring that into alignment, Earth, you have a very, very bright future. The question is, are you ready to step out into the light and merge the things that you know with the things that you're ready to learn? With that, I will let you guys and gals go. Have a great rest of your month. It looks like you're going to from here on out, because you're seeking out the right answers and you're seeking out wisdom. That's the most important thing. Don't look for all the wealth. Look for the wisdom, because the wisdom will lead you to the places that feed your soul, and that's more important than the money. I will see you guys in the next video.